Welcome back to the another episode of the AI Sisterhood Podcast. I am Arthi, your host, and every episode we sit down with a woman who's not waiting to be discovered. She's building, she's shipping, solving problems, and often doing it in ways that no one else in the room has ever thought of yet. Today's guest has a title that tells you half the story: data analytics and operational excellence. But there is another half of it. She is the founder of GenXFinity Media, a cinematic wellness company she built to disrupt the way an entire generation ages. And the bridge between those two worlds is AI. Specifically, the way she trains her large language models to be exactly who she needs them to be for each project from scratch. Here is a fun fact: she makes cooking videos for social media, not for a brand, just out of fun. She doesn't target any followers. She does it just because she loves it. And that tells you everything about her. This is a woman who does things because they light her up, including building a wellness empire from her own healing journey. I'll call you all to please welcome Christine Silva, founder of GenXFinity Media Limited. And yeah, Christine, I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you, Arthi. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning.
Thank you, Christine. How is everything there? How are you doing today? And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, and I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. So, Kristen, I just wanted to start with a thing that nobody puts on their LinkedIn account, because your story, the real origin of GenXFinity Media, it did not start in a boardroom, if I'm correct, right? It started in your own body. So, can you kind of like brief us as to who you are, where you started, and then how you've come to this specific space? Like, how did you become the person you are today? Can you walk us through your journey?
Sure. Sure. So after the age of 50, I had a pretty big fall from a hiking accident. I ended up breaking my right ankle in all kinds of places. Traditional therapy, physical therapy, did not work. It wasn't, I would say it was more in line here in the States. The physical therapy was more in line with my mother's generation to help them. For me, as a Generation X person, woman, the physical therapy that was offered to me did not work well. I had to come out of that system and create my own in order to get back on my feet and get back to day-to-day life. So I had to take my recovery into my own hands. And that's exactly what I did. My own ability to just keep moving. And so once I was able to get back on my feet and get back to regular everyday life, I knew at that point there are more people like me that could use this system. And so that's what I've been doing. That's been my mission for the last 3 years, is developing this system, ironing it out, and bringing it to market.
Wow, that's just amazing, Christine. The kind of resilience you must have had, not getting what you actually needed at that point in time, and you designing a system on your own. Can you kind of like walk us through what exactly is that system and how it has progressed from that specific moment?
It was very much a pivotal moment in my life. There was 2 avenues that I could go. I could go into the healthcare system and start on the pharmaceuticals and work with a cane, or I could go my own route and get back to everyday life. And that was the path for me. And I suspect that every person in my generation, Generation X, would feel the same way. We're not ready to give up. We're not ready to stop moving, and we're not ready to fall into the system.
Great. Wow, that's really inspiring, Christian. I'm so glad that you were able to build the system, and you are like kind of helping others as well from
Thank you.
whatever you went through. That's truly fantastic. So what does GenXFinity Media actually do?
Thank you.
Like, can you let us know more about your organization?
Xfinity Media. It's a startup. I'm still strapping, but idea and my mission is to make it a platform, is to bring generation people in that this wellness, and where there's discussion about the real problems and the real issues that people that are aging deal. It's not so much therapy, right? It's not I'm not a therapist, but it's a place where people like my age, we have the same lived experience, can get together and say, hey, how are you going? What's going on in life? Maybe we can share. I share cooking videos on my platforms, better eating healthier at 55. Over 50 is so important that you eat better. And so I share the recipes that I make. And again, it's a platform where people can learn how to move better, how to talk to each other, how to deal with life as we age, and to cut out all the noise of the other platforms with all the crazy of the conspiracies and all that stuff. I want to cut that out because it's so much noise. And I'm looking for signal. I'm looking to connect with people on my age, the spillover generations, either above the boomers or the millennials, connecting with real people who have real life experiences and are struggling or not struggling and just need someone who really understands them on their level.
That's an amazing initiative, Christine. I think you being a data analytics professional, you truly sensed that signal, like the skill kind of like worked for you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it. So proud of it because it is something that I have. I built through necessity. When I was mobile and when I was on my 9 months not being able to walk, it was a very dark place, Arthi. Very dark place mentally, emotionally, and I can't be the only one that has gone through that. And I know for sure that I'm not. That place, meeting place, which is GenXFinity Media, having that place where people my age, again, higher or even below in terms of age, having that meeting place where people can go and feel safe, have those relationships and build those relationships to help each other get past the next phase in life, move toward the next phase together is so important. It is something that I'm so proud to have as a brainchild of my own and to keep pushing forward.
Yes, I'm so sorry for what you went through, and then I'm so glad that nobody else would go through what you went through because of your, like you mentioned, your brainchild, your organization, and I think when someone builds something out of personal necessity and because of their personal, experience, it has so much of value, and then it adds so much value to the society as well. So I think that's exactly GenXFinity Media is currently doing, and you are kind of like part of it, which is super cool, Kristen. Thank you so much for sharing that story.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Right. So
Yes,
I
and
can.
I know that AI is, speaking of AI, like there is so much about AI in over here, where it's made out to be such a bad thing. But if I'm being honest with you, AI is as smart as user, right? For me, I've been able to train my large language models. I needed a patent attorney, so I was able to train my LLM as a patent attorney for the United States, patent office. And so it's been so crucial in helping me flush out what's in my brain and helping me establish whether it's an idea worth pursuing or not. And so it's been very crucial, AI, in the development of GenXFinity Media and how it unfolds. So I think it's important that people know when they are using AI, when they are using one of these LLMs, if you treat it as a Google search, it will act Google search. But it depends on the user. If you want it to be, if the answer's up here, it has to be trained to get there. It doesn't just know what you think. Helpful in developing and unfolding this product and this platform ecosystem, I'll call it.
That's amazing, Christian. And you mentioned that you trained your own LLM, right? Like, how did that go for you? When was it? And how did you go about it? Was it easy? Are you from a technical background? If not, how did you cope with it? Can you walk us through the whole story?
Right. I'm not from in restaurants and in industrial kitchens. I do have an MBA from Augment University. It's an entrepreneur platform, and so that trained me in AI for business and AI for prompting. And once it teaches you the understanding of how the LLMs work, sky's the limit.
Right. Fantastic. So from what I understand, you kind of like you got into AI only during your MBA, the MBA as an entrepreneur, correct? You don't have a computer science degree where you learn to code and something of that sort. So the most of the audience listening to this specific podcast, yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. No. And here I am.
Yep, exactly. So majority of the audience who are like listening to this podcast are in the same boat. Like they don't have a technical degree, and that's my whole audience. These are non-technical professionals who are currently like kind of like forced into AI, if you will, because every company is adapting to it, and every role requires them to use AI. So you being an entirely non-technical person, you trained the whole large language model. So how easy or difficult was it for you, the whole process?
Okay. Well, once I learned the process of programming it, what is required to program it, once I learned that process, it became easy. But again, if you don't know, you don't know. If I'm going to use any of the AIs as a Google search, and that is, I believe, not what AI is intended to do. I was very much ahead of the game. I come from the San Francisco Bay Area, which is like the hub of technology. And so I could see where AI was going just because I was paying attention. And so learning it and getting on board with it, with the best as it was developing and being ironed out, once I could get on board there, I knew that eventually, once it did take over, which it looks like it's starting to, I would be able to be on that train and roll with it. And that's exactly what I intend to do.
Perfect, Christian. That's awesome. And this large language model that you trained, right? Yeah. Do you use it in your organization, GenXFinity? and how do you use it?
It depends on what the needs are, because each LLM has its own task. For example, right? One could be helping me develop a business plan. So that's one of them. Another would help me with patent information for the USPTO. That's a different LLM. So they're definitely I have multiple LLMs, but they are programmed to do different things. If you overload one with too much information, it'll start to hallucinate. If you ask it too many different things, it'll hallucinate and it won't give you the information you need. So it's important, if you're jumping into the AI, it's important to make sure that your LLMs are separated from what the needs are. I can't have one AI that does my patent search, that does my business development, that does my streamlining. Everything has to have its own lane so that you get the most accurate information for each. And then you put it together and build your systems.
Right. But very fantastically summarized as to how you can, not have a single LLM for like all of the use cases, and you would need a specific, a specific kind of a training for each of these use cases, which is very well explained, Christine. Thanks for doing that. So one question though, so you did mention that you make cooking videos.
Thank you.
Right. So you make cooking videos for social media, right? Just for fun. So have you ever brought AI into that creative space? Have you used AI? How do you use AI for your personal life versus your professional one?
When I edit my videos, I definitely use some of the AI tools. But when I'm creating the videos for cooking, that's a very personal, intimate relationship between me and food. That's all me. The recipes, the systems that I use, the cooking processes, that's all me. And I wouldn't want AI to infringe on that, because that's a relationship between me and my career and my love of food. So, but I do use AI to help me edit.
That's amazing. And how easy it is for you to use AI to edit? Do you think AI editing tools have a very long way to go, or are they right there at the moment now?
AI editing tools are, I feel like daily. I feel like there's a daily shift of upgrading. Boom, boom, boom. The tools that I use, I feel like they're changing so rapidly that eventually it's just going to do this, do that, and it'll be done. But it's a process, and I feel that it's developing daily.
Correct. Right. That's awesome. Sure, Christine.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you one more thing. And before I do that, quick confession that I also post cooking videos online, and it's totally for therapeutic purposes. And I don't even edit them because I film them with my Meta glasses, so that I need not have to position the camera and then take care of the lighting and so on. So it's fun, and I get it, like why you do it for fun as well. So that's awesome. Sure. Sorry about that. So you mentioned that your current AI obsession is like you are in the rabbit hole of doing patent research, right? So what pulled you down this patent research rabbit hole? Like where did it all begin?
Okay. Well, yeah. So for me, once I realized that I could get a free education from places like YouTube and even AI, once I realized that the information is there, it just needs to be trained from me, the user. That's when I really knew, okay, if I'm going to use these things, I really need to make them LLMs as smart as I need them to be. Not me, they need to be smarter than me, because I'm not a patent attorney, but I need information that a patent attorney would have. So I needed to train. But once I realized the process of creating these LLMs to be who I need them to be, then it became an easier process to go and get the information that I needed to put into my LLM. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does, Kristen. Awesome. So, is this like you went down this patent research rabbit hole
Yeah.
because you wanted to protect your own IP at GenXfinity, or did you stumble into it for like some other reason?
Well, let me see that answer. Like I didn't stumble upon it. I knew that the under GenXfinity Media is the freedom flow method. The freedom flow method is what I use to get back on my feet. And that is an IP. So I knew that I needed to secure the IP of the freedom flow method in order to move forward and bring it to market and start to talk about it. At that point, you know, patent attorneys and patent costs are exponentially like out here. For me, I knew I needed to do a lot of the legwork to provide to my patent attorney. And at that point, I knew I needed to work with AI and train it to be the best USPTO patent examiner that I could make it to give me the information that I needed to provide to my patent attorney. So it was not really a rabbit hole of wrongs and rights in the AI space. It was a matter of finding out, realizing what I needed to do, and then going at it headstrong and using AI the way it was intended to be used.
Right. That's amazing,
Yeah.
Kristen. So, speaking about IP, and you using AI to secure your the IP for your company, and then even though you have a patent attorney, you needed to do some research on your own, right? So, is this something more founders should be thinking about right now? Especially, like, do you think women founders out there are, in particular, they are like leaving IP out on the table? What is your advice to them?
I think that for me, at 56 years old, starting entrepreneurship is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's a lonely road, being an entrepreneur. It is also a road where there's a lot of failure along the way, a lot of bidding, a lot of back and this way and that way, a lot of changes along the way in entrepreneurship. And I'm still in the development process. So with that is going to come a lot of, you want people behind you. You want the people that you love that are behind you to support you. And first things first is that doesn't happen. The people that you want behind you, pushing you to go further and to exceed and to do well, they're not going to be there. This is a you, and this is a you thing, a you and you only. And you're the decision maker. You're the person going through it. You're the one that has to you're going to fall and you're going to back up. That being said, in your 50s, late 40s, early 50s is the perfect time to start entrepreneurship because you have life experience under your belt. You already know systems. You already know what is successful and what is not. Today, women, anybody in their Generation X, in their 50s, 40s, it is the best time to start your own business using AI as a tool to get you where you need to go. And I would encourage women of all ages, people in my generation, to take on AI and use it for what it's intended for, and to get yourself to that next place in life. Entrepreneurship is not an easy road. It's probably, Arthi, it is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. Again, it's a lonely road, a lonely road. You maybe have one person that's behind you or in your ear saying, you got this, you got this, you got this. I have that one person in my life. But if you don't incorporate AI into your journey, into entrepreneurship, it's going to be that much harder, because the answers that might take you 3 months, 6 months, a year to find, done properly and using your LLM properly, you can get those answers within hours.
Very powerful and very candid statements right there, Christine. Thank you so much for being so candid. And I can totally resonate with what you mentioned. Like being an entrepreneur is a lonely road out there. Um, I mean, I recently quit my job for like pursuing entrepreneurship. It's been like around 6 to 7 months, and I'm pretty sure that it's been longer for you, and provided that you come in with a lot of experience as well. So it's been there are a couple of days where it's like too lonely, and there are days where I think rethink my choices, whether I have to like go back to the 9 to 5 that I dreaded so much. So yes, your the way that you put it, like it's the voice that you hear. You need to embrace that voice, which is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that awesome advice.
Oh my God. If there's one thing that I could offer to you, Arthi, it is to keep going. Anybody out there that's listening, you're going to have those hard days. And I still work, Arthi. I work full time, and on my second job is developing my business and keeping my business, afloat, not so much afloat as just, expanding it and getting it out there. So I'm not afraid of hard work because I've worked hard my whole life. But if there's one thing I can tell you or anybody out there, it's just every time you fall, because you're going to fall in entrepreneurship, get back up. Because there's those people, there's those haters that are waiting to see you fall so that they can kick you in the head and laugh at you. Keep moving. Keep it moving. That's my advice.
Fantastic, Christine. I got little chills right now upon hearing what you had to say. So thank you. Thank you so much for saying this. Christine.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Awesome. So I just wanted to kind of zoom out, and since you're talking about building, a company as a founder, so it's not GenXFinity Media is not just a wellness company, right? It is a statement, like you mentioned, about a generation that has been ignored by tech, overlooked by media, and told that aging kind of means like you need to slow down. And you are saying, no, absolutely not. We deserve the kind of the treatment, the kind of resources that we need. So you also mentioned earlier that failure is part of this process, and that you go through it with your head held high, like you just mentioned. That sounds like a philosophy you kind of earned really hard. So what happened? How did you become this kind of a resilient person that you are today?
I think I've always been the way that I am, only I've been in a cultural norm of, everybody's from a different cultural norm. The way that we're raised a certain way in a certain culture. And, so you're raised to continue that. And I've always been someone that's a little bit outside the box. And when you go and when you color outside the box and do things that are different than their family or the system that you grow up in or the community, when you go, it causes friction. And when that friction, whether it be from the community or the family or whomever, when that presents itself, you as an individual have a choice. You can fall back into that system and that family culture, or you can continue on and out and chasing what you know that you are. And for me, and especially as you age and, I've lost my mom and my aunt, and and when death also plays a part, when real life hits you, and the real life struggles and the real life experience of death, of separation, of estrangement, whatever it is, when all that hits you, it makes people want to fall back that norm and into that safety of the system we were raised in. And it's for me, it's been important to keep pushing on, to keep going into what I know that I'm here to do, which is change the system, change for at least for myself, because it starts with yourself. What I did for myself in order to learn how to walk again after that injury, I know that it can change the lives of many people. And you know that inside of that, you have the ability to change the lives of millions of people. That itself is a drive to continue on. And so again, it's been a rocky road, and I expect more rocky roads. But since I was a child, I've always gone against the grain, and I'm not going to stop now.
Wow. I mean, the kind of confidence that you bring in, the charisma that you have, I really hope like every woman kind of listening to this right now, including my mom, gets it, has their own experience, teach them as to what they should be, who they should be like. So glad that you're here. So
Yeah, and let me tell you let me tell you something, Arthi. I know that you have millions of listeners all over the world, and to the young women out there, to the older women out there, to anybody out there that is stuck or is sees themselves somewhere how to get there, you got to start. You got to start somewhere, and you got to keep moving, because it's not going to come to you. Nothing comes to you without you going after it. So to all the women out there that are watching this, go on ahead, girl, get out there and do you.
Yeah, that's what this whole sisterhood is all about. I bring in such powerful women like you, and then you share all of your energy and share all of these amazing, motivation, if you would. I've heard from a lot of the audience who listen to this podcast, like after a week or two after the episodes have gone live, they come back saying that, how do you find all of these amazing guests? Because the answer that I give them is basically, it's just women, because women have this kind of a second brain, if you will, because we understand the problems, and also we correlate things, right? So that's so special about every woman out there. So you are an extraordinary woman, Christine, and I did not expect, because we have never spoken before, right? But this conversation, I'm like loving it. It's like giving me chills, like each and every sentence that comes out of your mouth, it's like giving me literal chills.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Arthi.
Thank you, Kristen. So, yeah, I think we were talking about your organization, right? So, GenXfinity's mission, right? I know it's you're doing your full-time job and also like taking care of your own brainchild. So, let's say 5-10 years from now, right? What does that world actually look like for GenXfinity? What would you have achieved? Who's like living differently because of what you built today?
Well, for me, the ending for me and my hope for Xfinity, it brings people together. It brings people of my age, of my generation, again, the older people and the younger people. It brings them to a place, a place of togetherness where we can share ideas, share wellness, best practices, share life experiences, and a place where people can get information from other people like myself, and in a way to help them get through that next day, get through that next week. Somebody that's thinking about falling back from chasing a dream, GenXfinity is going to be the ecosystem, the hub where you can go and get that motivation and get that way of, all right, I can do another day, I can do another thing. And that is the goal for GenXfinity, is to unite the generations, unite the system, unite the country, unite the world in a place where people can help each other in whatever situation is going on.
Fantastic. That's an awesome goal right there. And I also wish you that this specific organization, it expands to other countries as well, like India, where there is a huge Gen X population right now. So in 5-10 years, that would it would be really helpful for people across the globe, not just where you are right now. So I really wish you the best, Kristen. All right, Kristen. So I have another.
There over in the entire world, there's almost, I think, 1.5 billion Generation X. 1.5 billion Generation X. And we're all going through the same thing. We're all aging. We all have life experiences. We all have issues. We all have, struggling, trying to get through day-to-day life. Everybody's in the same boat.
Exactly.
As well as the baby boomers and some of the millennials. So I want people to understand that we are all connected. We are all connected, and we can help each other. And once we can realize that we're here to help each other, we can change the world, Arthi.
Exactly, Kristen. And I believe that only women think this way. Women only think about how we can, all stay together. We can put in all of our skills and resources and talent together.
I think right.
That's what I really love about connecting with women across the globe. And LinkedIn, it's just an amazing platform for that, I believe. Otherwise, I would have never known you. You live in South Carolina, you said, right?
Yeah.
And how
Yes.
would from India would have met somebody like you who is in the US? I have no idea.
Yes, ma'am. South Carolina.
Right. Awesome, Kristen. It's such fun getting to know you and knowing all of your life experiences and how you're putting it into the benefit of the whole generation and also additional generations who fit in that specific problem statement. That's fantastic. So now we've kind of moved to a segment which I call.
Well, sure. I mean, of course, think about it. If you think about it, we're all connected generationally. We're all connected generation, not just through the ecosystem of the universe. We're all connected generationally. I'm Generation X. My mother was a baby boomer. My children are millennials. So not only are we all connected universally, we're all connected through our generations. And that's what GenXFinity does. It brings those, helps everybody move to that, either that next level or get the support that they need, or just cut out the noise of the everyday world. For me, it's about connection.
That's awesome, Kristen. And I believe as and when somebody kind of requires such level of the resources and the wellness that GenXFinity needs to offer, a community, a communal force is the need of the hour, especially how with the rise of AI and already with decade-old social media, there is need of a community right now, right? I think GenXFinity would offer that as well to across generations, as you mentioned. That's an amazing initiative that you're doing right now.
Yeah, I think your analysis is 100% right, because there is a lot of noise out there, and GenXFinity Media aims to cut through that noise and just bring real people together, right? Other social media platforms, there's so much noise and so much fakeness. I'm 56 years old, Arthi. I got more days behind me than in front of me. I got no choice but to be a real person now, because that's all that's left. And once you realize that, you want that type of person around you. You want more people like that around you, because it makes life much easier when you get to the heart of things and you get to the realness of someone and you get to the realness of an issue that you can relate to and that you can share your experiences that may help somebody. So that is exactly what we're doing with GenXFinity Media. Media is building that platform.
And that's like a fantastic thing that you're doing, Kristen. It's I really hope that you achieve great heights, it gets expanded, and a lot of people benefit from this specific initiative. I really hope that it happens, Kristen.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, Arthi. Thank you so much.
Sure, Kristen, thank you. As I was saying before, so there is this segment that I do with everybody who comes as a guest on this podcast. It's called the rapid fire round. So I ask you a couple of questions which are very random. You need not like think much about it. Just like whatever you get at the top of your head, just spill it out. Are you ready? Shall we go ahead with the rapid fire round?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, Kristen. First answer that comes to your mind and no overthinking. Okay. First question for you. The one AI tool you could not live without right now.
Images.
Yeah. So, what is the best recipe that you've ever made? And would you trust a robot to recreate it?
The best. Okay. The best recipe for food is love.
Again, chills. you keep giving me this goosebumps.
Yeah.
And chills. That's so unfair. Okay, next question. So next question. What is the one word that describes how you want Gen X women to feel when they find GenXFinity?
That one word would be empowering.
Fantastic. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received, and who it was from?
The best piece of advice that I've ever received is to just do it. Just do it. And that came from my wife.
Fantastic. Just do it. Wow. It's like Nike, but then, Nike is just a slogan.
Yeah.
But
I know it. Yeah, it's the Nike's a slogan, and it's like stuck in your head as a shoe. But when you are attempting to do something outside of the norm, outside of what you've done your entire life, that phrase from the person loves you, and that says, just do it. It takes on a different form and a different meaning.
Exactly. And your wife sounds like a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Who's like, I believe, she's a go-getter, if I'm not wrong. That's amazing.
She definitely, she's a special person, and she gave me courage, I think.
That's awesome, Kristen. I'm so happy for both of you. Like how you are able to empower each
Thank
other.
you. Definitely.
Okay, that completes our rapid fire round. I think it went really well. So I also wanted to ask one specific piece of advice, okay, to women who are currently listening to this specific podcast, because there are a lot of women out there, especially young women who are like currently graduating from college or are in their first job right now. So they are currently overwhelmed with the AI, right? Like there are a lot of layoffs happening. They do not get opportunity at all because for entry level employees, nobody's like hiring anymore. So what piece of advice would you give to these women? Like, how should they go about with their entire career the next 10, 15 years or so?
So to answer that, we're talking specifically to the young women starting out, coming into the workforce. I would encourage them to listen more before they act. Never back down from what is right, but always be willing to learn. You have to learn about where you're at. Some people coming out of college believe that they they know everything and they're jumping into a field where they've got a degree. Your degree doesn't matter to me. You're going to have to earn your role, whatever role that you're seeking. You're going to have to earn that. And there's going to be lots of bumps along the way. There's going to be some failures. There's going to be some learning involved. You have to be willing to accept that and run with that. And be strong, girls. Be strong out there. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And but always show yourself a lot of respect and hold your head up high.
Thank you, Kristen. I take that advice as well. I mean, even though I've been in the workforce like for 8 to 9 years, then this is solid piece of advice. Thank you so much for sharing that. Cool. I think we've
Thank you,
reached
Arthi.
we've reached like towards the end of the session, and I don't want to take up much of your time on a Saturday morning. So, do you have any other questions or anything else that you want to share with this huge community?
You can find me at GenXFinityMedia.com. You can learn about my what I'm doing. I've got some heart healthy and some cookbooks up on my website for people that need to eat better as they age. And so that's up there for some reasonable prices. You can find me all in the social medias, GenXFinity Media, or my name, Christine Silva. And I love talking to people out there. And it's been a pleasure talking to you today, Arthi. I appreciate you having me on your podcast.
Thank you so much for being here, Kristen. And I will definitely check out all of the recipes because I'm trying to eat clean and age healthy. So I will check out your recipe, and I'll leave all of the information. Exactly. I'll leave all the information of how people can reach you, your LinkedIn profile, your company website, and everything in the description of this episode as well. So yes, it's again a huge, great pleasure having you here, Kristen. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here on a Saturday morning, which is, I know, you would have had an overwhelming week, and then early morning you're here, empowering a group of women who are going to be listening to this episode. So thank you so much once again. And I really hope that, in the next season, once GenXFinity kind of like grows and you help a lot more people, I can have you again as a guest on the same podcast, if you will. Yeah, so.
That would be fantastic. Thank you, Arthi.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And people listening to this episode right now, you can find Kristen with all of the links that I've given in the description. I believe Kristen won't mind if you ask for a one-on-one mentoring session as well, because from this conversation, I feel so empowered. So, yes, if you have enjoyed this episode, you know where to reach Kristen. And make sure you subscribe to reach all of these, different wonderful women out there who I would be honored to spotlight on this specific episode. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, keep learning from these wonderful women. And thank you, Kristen.